I normally do not do this kind of thing. I really don't. But I am honestly so bothered by how people have been reacting to Kobe Bryant's death. First of all, I have to say, I am seriously so disgusted by the amount of people that I have seen posting. Like, they're going out of their way to say, I could care less that he's dead. He's never done anything for me. I've never even met the guy. Why should I care that he's dead? I feel really bad for these people, and I am just so grateful that I can't understand that mindset and that I can't understand where they're coming from. I'm just so glad that I can't relate to that, because I don't know what kind of life that is to not care that somebody tragically died, let alone to go out of your way and say so for no apparent reason. I'm not sure what these people are trying to prove to anyone else by going out of their way to say, I could care less that this guy died. And I can understand to a point, I guess, of trying to make it known that they're not going to make a big deal about it because they didn't actually know him. But it seems so disrespectful to me to go out of your way to say that you don't care. Another thing that I've been seeing is that people should feel ashamed of themselves if they looked at Kobe as being their hero. Everyone's definition of hero is different. Okay. With that being said, why are we bringing the military into this? Why are we bringing people risking their lives for the country? Why are we bringing that into this? It's not some kind of competition. It's not some kind of thing of seeing whose morals are on what level, because someone might see a professional basketball player as a hero, as someone who they looked up to. I'm really not into any kind of sports. Like, I'm not, but this just really has seriously bothered me. And before, I would always be like, I'm not even gonna say anything, just let people be who they are, let them say what they're gonna say. It really is starting to seem to me like this isn't even being looked at as a tragic death anymore. This is being looked at people who saw him as a hero, who looked up to him for all of his accomplishments. I mean, he was an idol to people around the whole entire world, not even just in this country, but around the world. Regardless of who the person was, it was a horrible accident that happened. It was tragic. It was traumatic. Like, if anything, this should have been some kind of reality check, some kind of wake-up call to all of us to realize that no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter how far you've made it in life so far, anything can happen at any given moment. That's what we should be focused on. With my anxiety and depression, this actually, it made my whole day yesterday since I found out, and even today so far. I was up all night thinking about it. Like, I just put myself into everyone else's perspective, and I start questioning things like, did they know it was happening? Did they, I mean, it's just, the questions are endless to think about, and that's what I've been doing. I've been so focused on, did they know it was happening? Did it just happen? What was going through their minds? Just everything like that. And I feel like everyone else is just so focused on attacking those who are feeling bad about this. And part of Strength from the Madness, to me, it's so important to be able to express how you feel about things without being judged by everyone else. So normally, I'm not about this at all. I'm really not. But it just feels like this needs to be said. It seems like people are getting judged for considering Kobe to be a hero to them. And I just want to ask, why is that a bad thing? Why is it bad that someone who was so far in life, who had all kinds of accomplishments and all of that, why is it bad to look up to someone like that? It's not to go against the people who are seriously fighting for the country. It has nothing to do with that. People just make it about something totally, I don't want to use the word irrelevant, but it's irrelevant to this particular subject. I don't understand why people are saying that you should feel ashamed of yourself for considering a basketball player to be your hero. Let me ask this question. When you were a kid, who did you look up to? Who was your hero? Think about it. Honestly, who was your hero when you were growing up? Was it a celebrity? Was it someone who played sports? Just who was your hero when you were growing up? A lot of people are at that age now where, yes, they're considered to be grown adults, but when they were kids, can we think about where Kobe was at in his career at the time? If they feel sad, how does that even affect you? Like, I just don't understand. To go out of your way and say, I don't care that this person died. And this has nothing to do with those of you who posted that. It really doesn't. I'm just saying, for those who are affected by this but feel like they have to be ashamed for feeling sad over a death of someone, I mean, this was a tragic accident where someone died. They lost their life. And not only that, but they were with their daughter. They were with their daughter. And makes me question, did they know it was happening to know that he was about to leave his wife, his other kids? If you want to feel like you don't care that someone died and you feel the need to point that out to social media, that's fine, that's on you. But I just don't see why you need to point out to everyone else that they need to feel ashamed for being upset over a tragic, horrible event that happened. This is nothing against anyone, like firefighters, police, everyone fighting for the country. It is nothing against that, and I agree that we all should have way more awareness around those who are being killed tragically every day. But it's no one saying that Kobe's death is more significant, more important. It's nothing like that. It's just he has made such an impact on so many people's lives all over the world. And I keep seeing people say that everyone should be ashamed for being upset over it. It really always is something, and people are always looking for a reason to be upset over whatever it is, whatever it may be, and they always feel the need to compare things where they just seriously can't compare. You can't compare a basketball player to those who are fighting and risking their lives every day, and even those who are losing their lives every day fighting for the country, fighting for the community, whatever it may be. And I just don't understand why people feel the need to compare the two things. I think that any life that's lost, it's tragic, it's very sad, it should be a reality check for the rest of us, and instead we're judging each other for what we're feeling, for who we're upset about, for who we're focusing on, who we even are made aware of. I don't know why we're not more focused on his family that he left behind, and just, it really should be a reality check for the rest of us that, seriously, no matter who you are or what you're doing in life, anything can happen at any given moment. And that's what we should be focused on, not shaming anyone for what they're upset over, especially when it comes to something like this. I just felt the need to say it because this is what I'm trying to do through Strength from the Madness, is just be myself. And I don't know if there's anyone who is like me, you're gonna feel anxiety over it because now you have the pressure from the rest of society telling you should feel bad about feeling sad about a death. And that's not true. It's not. The two things don't compare. And it's not our fault that we're not even made aware of all those people who are fighting for their, like, they're fighting for their lives for this country, and we're not made aware of that all the time necessarily. But still, the two just don't even compare. So I don't know why everyone's being shamed for caring about this. I want it to be known that it is not a bad thing for showing that you have a heart, showing compassion for those who are affected by this. I mean, even the ones who are saying, like, why are we focused on Kobe and not the rest of the people who were on the helicopter? It's because we weren't even made aware of all those others who were on the helicopter at the time. When the news came out, all we were made aware of was Kobe. And the news lied how many times by saying it was him and all of his daughters, it was him and none of his daughters, to saying it was him and one of his daughters. I mean, even so, I don't know how or why people are being shamed for being emotional over a tragic death. Let me just say this too. When these people are comparing things that seriously just can't even be compared, and they're saying he was a basketball player. Like, he was just a basketball player. He accomplished so much more in his life than a lot of us have and ever will, to be honest. And he has shown people of all ages, all over the world, you can do whatever you set your mind to. For having an issue with people considering Kobe to have been a hero to them, I'm not sure how you find it to be such an issue, because again, it doesn't even compare to those who are fighting for the country, fighting for the community, anything like that. I know he was a basketball player, but when you say he was just a basketball player and that you basically have no right to call him a hero, I mean, Kobe Bryant has accomplished way more goals than a lot of us ever have, and possibly even ever will. I see nothing wrong with looking up to him as a hero, especially when you're a young kid and maybe that's what you want to do in life, is go into sports, go into basketball. I mean, whatever it is, even for just regular anything like me, of course I look up to people who are accomplishing their dreams. I mean, seriously, like, I just don't understand why you can even say, like, I'm embarrassed for those who consider him a hero and everything. No one sees a hero in one way, and I don't see how the people I mean, whoever you look up to, how does it affect the next person anyway, you know? Life is hard enough as it is, so why are we placing judgment even when it comes down to these most traumatic, just tragic events? I have to say, even if you were not a sports fan, even if you didn't watch basketball, you mean to tell me that when you heard that Kobe Bryant had been killed in a crash, you mean to tell me that you didn't automatically know who he was? Even if you don't watch basketball, you're not into sports, whatever, you mean to tell me that you had never heard the name Kobe Bryant? You're a liar if you say you never did. The fact that you know who he is just from hearing his name, that just goes to show how far he made it in life, all of the accomplishments that he achieved in life, and not just in this country, but around the world. And I have to be honest, I don't see anything wrong with seeing him as a hero. And it does not compare to everyone else in the world doing what they're doing. We all feel very thankful, blessed for those people, but it does not compare. If you feel bad for the death of an athlete, it doesn't take away from anything else. It doesn't. And the fact that you know his name just from hearing it, it just seriously shows how this relates back to Strength from the Madness, because I feel that you should be able to have whatever hero you want. You should be able to look up to whoever you want. You should be able to feel bad about a tragic death without having to feel guilty from the rest of society telling you that you shouldn't be feeling bad for this, you should be feeling bad for this instead, even though the two things don't even compare. It's just a reminder for those who are struggling with mental illness that if he was your idol and you looked up to him, you still can look up to him. There's nothing wrong with seeing him as a hero, especially, I know, like, for people my age when we were younger, I know he was a hero, an idol, whatever you want to call him, to so many people when they were younger. Now that they're older, of course, it's going to be devastating to find out. And I'm just here to remind you it's okay. And it doesn't mean that you don't feel bad about everything else like society is trying to tell you. It just means that you have a heart and you do care that a life was tragically taken.